All right, guys. Well, while other people jump on, we're going to go over a couple things. Number one, today's call is going to be a GPS, literally a way from you to get to where you're at right now to where you want to be. We're going to plan. This might be scary, but good news is I'm not going to use anyone in here. We're going to create an example GPS together. I'm going to get your input, and this will be a roadmap to success that will likely apply a lot to you because we're going to use a newer agent or an agent in their first year. We're going to create some goals that we can all probably steal shamelessly from. So that's going to be our focus. Before we get started, though, I'm unhappy to report that only one person reported their weekly numbers. If you're not getting the email on Wednesdays that ask you how many real estate contacts you've had, wins, losses, etc., please let me know in the chat so I can make sure you're getting that. It's like a survey. It's a Google form that we send out every Wednesday. The reason that we want to fill that out is so that I can better help you and better mold this coaching program to be very specific to our clients. Cool. Hi, Lauren. All right.
Hi, sorry, I just joined. Is this going to be sent to us through email or Google
You get
Docs?
it sent to you through email. So the brand new agents, so Max is with me here. Lauren, maybe Victor, Natalie, have you received it yet? You have? Okay, we'll get you guys input into our contacts so that you do get that. Please fill it out. Thank you. I want to put a spotlight on some other learning opportunities that are not coming from me. You guys probably get sick of hearing from me every now and then. Those learning opportunities come via Rachel. If you are not attending her technology calls, guys, I would highly encourage you to consider doing that. Reason being, she's gonna teach you all the newest, latest, greatest stuff. You guys all know that Keller Command is improving every single day. You may not know that, but it is. And she teaches all the new fandangled things to help us be dangerous agents. And what I mean by that is we can work more efficiently if we know more about the technology. So I want to encourage y'all every Wednesday, I believe it's 2:00, she hosts a tech call. Most of the time it correlates to Command. For you at Capital Partners, on the 3rd of November, she's hosting a DocuSign tips and tricks class. That would be really beneficial for you Capital Partners people to attend. Reason being, I don't use DocuSign, and there's times where y'all ask me questions on DocuSign. I look like an idiot because I'm like, I don't know. So I want you guys to get those answers ahead of time. So join that call 11/3. On the next week, she's going to be talking about how to import your database. So brand new agents, Max, Lauren, Vic, that'd be a great opportunity for you to learn how to import your database efficiently and quickly so that you don't have to ask a bunch of questions. You can do it all in one fell swoop. That's at 2:00. All these classes I'm telling you, I believe, are 2:00. On the 17th of November, there is a 2022 business calendar class. So she's going to help us set our calendars for 2022. And that, my friends, goes hand in hand with what we just talked about in office hours. For those of you who don't know, every Tuesday and Thursday from 12:30 to 1, I host office hours. And what that means is you can just jump on. It's a Zoom call, much like this. You can jump on, have your question, get it answered, jump off, or you can just hear what other people are saying. We had a really good conversation this past half hour. And the conversation ultimately ended with this thought. If you write nothing else down, write this down. Consistency is more important than quality. So consistency in your business with lead gen specifically is more important than quality. What I mean by that simply is, if you're doing the work every day, 2 hours lead gen, that's what we ask for. 2 hours, 100 contacts every week. If you do what 2 hours every day, religiously, consistently, it doesn't matter if your script work is perfect. It doesn't matter if social media is a part of that. If your social media production quality is perfect, if the videos you're producing is perfect, I'd much rather you just keep doing it consistently, because that's what drives success. Being a complete open book, you may not find that success first year, even if you are consistent. You'll find it quicker than everybody else because you're doing the things you need to do. But by the third year, your phone starts to ring with people calling you because they know what you're doing. They know what you're about because you've consistently placed it in their minds. So consistency is more important than quality. It doesn't have to be perfect. Never will be perfect. Don't wait for it. Just do it. The people who are fearless and comfortable being uncomfortable, they're the ones that succeed. If I've just given you the roadmap to success, then all this stuff that we're going to cover here today is just a cherry on top. I just gave you the roadmap to success in anything in life. It doesn't just pertain to real estate. If you want to run a marathon, what do you think the key is there? Consistency and training. For us, it's just consistency and lead gen. So I'll get off my soapbox. If you have not taken a contracts class, there is one being held on December 1st. That's called Contracts 1. It's being taught for CE. That's continuing education, which you all need. It's called Contracts 1. It's going to teach you about the contract that we use every single day. It's being taught by Lori Molnar, who's the broker of the year, who happens to be at Capital Partners. It will be at Capital Partners December 1st. I want to encourage everyone, regardless of which brokerage you're at, because it's CE, anyone can attend. 2 weeks later, on December 14th, she's doing Contracts 2, which is a deeper dive, and it's going to make you the pro. If we're going to practice our craft, we need to understand the document that we use most, when that is the contract. That's going to be held at 1 o'clock on both those days. 1 o'clock, December 1st, 1 o'clock, December 14th, Contracts 1 and 2. This would, and I don't mind helping when y'all don't know something, but a lot of the questions I get are like, hey, what's this mean? What's this mean? And we have opportunities for you to learn those things outside of just the coaching. So I want to encourage y'all to learn those things. And
Hey,
especially, yes.
Quick question on the CE hours. This is probably something I can ask later, but how many hours do we need? Like, how does that even work? Because I know that Lori had mentioned in the last meeting, people were behind. I'm going to have my license. My birthday's in January. I have had my license since April. Where do I find out where I need to get my hours, how many, and all of that? Do I just call the board, or who do I call?
That's a great question. There's a portal. It's what's the email address here? I'm going to have to look that up and get back to you. There's a portal that Columbus Board of Realtor has that shows you how many hours you have, how much dues are coming up, when they're coming up, and all that stuff. So I'm going to write a note and get you the answer to that. I should know, but I don't use it.
I also have a quick question. I just didn't get the date for the database class.
November 10th, 2 o'clock.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys. I don't know that we have anybody in here eligible for awards. Your annual dues, just a heads up, I learned this just in our monthly meeting here. Your annual dues will be due mid-January, and there is no multiple payment process this year. It is one lump sum. So you now have 3 months to figure out how you're going to get together your board dues. Okay, I always tell people to estimate $1,000. that's going to be made in one payment so that you can keep your status in active status. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the fun stuff here. Your GPS. A GPS is, if you think about it in terms of your car, it's what gets you from point A to point B. Your GPS here stands for, it's actually an acronym. Keller Williams is so clever. G is goals, your one big goal. P stands for priorities. So the priorities that you're going to focus on in order to get you towards your goal. And then S is strategies. What strategies are we going to employ for each of our priorities in order to get us to our goal? So we're working actually in reverse on a GPS. This is also called a 1-3-5. What's up, Toy? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
So good to see you. Thanks for joining. So it's called a 1-3-5, and for this reason, one big goal, 3 priorities, 5 strategies. When we focus on these things, we're going to hit our goal. We'll likely exceed our goal. So if you can all see my screen, this is a blank GPS form. I will send this all to you in a Google Drive document that will allow you to jump in and edit it to make one yourself. You will have homework, okay? Your homework is going to be to conduct your own GPS, to do this yourself. I'm not just giving it to you so that I can grade you. I'm not going to grade it at all, but I would like to cover it one-on-one with you as we approach November. Reason being, if we don't have a plan going into 2022, then we're planning to fail. That famous quote, failure to plan is planning to fail. So we want to have a good plan. So this will be the start of that. If you recall, last week, a lot of you came to our breakfast that we held at my house. Thank you so much for coming, those of you who came. And it was really cool. We got a chance to do vision boards. A vision board is kind of like a dream board. Like, hey, here's what I would love to do in a perfect world. Well, guess what? We have the access and the capability to make our dreams come true. But not if we don't put the pen on paper or the keys on our Drive document here to actually visualize what that looks like. Okay. So let's start off. What we're going to do, we're going to do an example together. And I would love your input on this. This is a reference document that we can jump back and forth over the course of the year. I'm going to start by showing you my GPS form, my 1-3-5 from last year heading into this year. And I'll be honest, I haven't used it as much as I should have over the course of the year because I kind of set it and forget it. But as I look back, I've done so many of these things and I didn't even realize it until I went back to review it. You do these things because once you write it down, you're committing to doing these things just psychologically. So this was my GPS. Okay. So my goal was to do 80 transactions for my whole team. We're not going to hit that unless the Lord provides here in the next 2 months. We're going to be about 50 transactions, which is still pretty good considering the year we've had. But what were my priorities? So in order to deliver on that goal, I realized that I needed to grow my database. Number one. What's up, Matthew? Have a seat. So knowing that my database is my business, I decided that 1,500 would be a good number to get my database to. And the reason being, the math behind that is because according to numbers, and I know I always round up, but for every 10 people you know, one person should have a real estate need or know somebody that has a real estate need. The actual number is more like 6%. So if I were to have 1,500 people in my database, 6% of that would have met 90 transactions if I hit my database correctly. The other priority, I wanted to grow some systems that would encourage growth that was multiplication, not just addition. And then the third priority was to leverage additional hands to assist in hitting goals. Because if it was just me doing it all on my own, I probably don't have the bandwidth to do 80 or even 50 transactions on my own. So within each of these priorities, and again, this is going to look way different than what we're going to try to do here, but this is a business who's 3 years in versus you guys who may be brand new. Within each of these, I focused on 5 strategies. So my first strategy to grow my database was to have 4 events. I blew that out of the water. We're on pace to do 12 events. So that one's a big check mark. You will note that these strategies should be SMART goals. If we go back to our vision board conversation, SMART meaning specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time bound. So this goal for me, my GPS was over the course of a year. I wanted to hit these things. So hold 4 events, boom, knocked that out of the water. I had 12. Refine social media systems and daily post strategy. Did that, hired somebody. Thanks, Lauren, for helping me with that. Ensure ROI of 150% is hit on Zillow leads. So I'm not ashamed of it. I buy leads, and that helps me grow my business. And now Victor and Lauren are going to help me take my business to the next level and allow us to hit that ROI goal. ROI simply means return on investment. Continue to attend every church event that I can. Now, this was one goal that was not measurable, and shame on me. There should have been something more measurable, like attend 1 church event a month, something along those lines, something that I can look back and say yes or no. It should be black and white, all of our goals. And that goes towards any goal you ever make. It should be black and white. Can I say I did it or did I not do it? And the reason that this was on there was because a lot of my business has come from my church database. So the more present I am, the more people I get to meet from that database, theoretically, the more business will come because of it. And then take over a neighborhood through farming. Well, I did realize one thing this year, if I'm speaking completely honestly, farming isn't for me. It doesn't mean it's not for you, and doesn't mean that you're not encouraged to at least try it. I did try it, and I realized that I don't have the passion there that I need to have to be successful at it. So that was a lesson learned. And we're not going to go through all these things, but as I look at these things, either I did it, I nailed it, or I have work left to do. So if I still have work left to do on these things, then in theory, I should probably transfer that same priority to the next year so that I can actually focus on it. Cool. So that's just an example in real life of how I did mine. We're going to now do one for you guys. What do you all think is a good number of transactions that's kind of a stretch goal? We always want our goals to be stretch goals. A stretch goal is just a little bit more, maybe 10% more than what you really feel comfortable with. It gets you out of your comfort zone and realizes that you're going to need to stretch yourself. Well, what do you think would be a good number? How many transactions? First to speak gets it. 15 transactions. Cool. If we're averaging, the number I just shared with you was, I'm just going to round down to 9,100. This is GCI, gross commission income. If you were to do 15 transactions at an average GCI of $9,100, you would have $136,500 in gross commission income. Does that sound appealing to anyone? Yeah. Okay. Well, when I equate it to that, let's actually put that in there. I think people, at least I'm more motivated when I see a dollar sign next to something. So $, that'd be 136,500 GCI. Cool. Now, this is just an example. I'm going to keep saying that because your goals may be completely different. We were talking to an agent this last half hour on office hours whose real goal was just to make enough money to do investment property, to buy some investment properties. So we kind of reverse engineered it and said, well, how much money would you need to buy an investment property and then to work on the flip? And we said maybe 3 or 4 properties. So maybe that's her goal. Okay. There's no right or wrong on this. Priority number 1. I will always maintain that our sphere of influence is where the majority of our business is going to come from. Anyone want to fight me on that? Real estate is a relationship game, right? Gary Keller said real estate's a contact sport. He had a shirt during Mega Camp. It said real estate is a contact sport. That didn't mean you're going to go tackle people, right? It means you're responsible for touching more people. So if we know that, then our goal needs to increase our sphere of influence. And that just means our network or our database. I'll put that in there. Database. Otherwise known as contacts. The number of contacts we have. Cool. So that's going to be priority number 1, is to expand our number of contacts. Priority number 2, for this example, we're going to do lead generation. How can we impact the systems that we put in place? How can we impact the roadmap? How can we map out our week so that we hit our goals for lead generation? And then priority number 3, for this one, I'm just, again, no right or wrong. You can put anything you want, but I'm going to go with marketing. Lead generation and marketing are 2 different things. Marketing is kind of getting your business out there. Lead gen is asking for business. The 2 will go hand in hand. We'll hopefully have the ultimate end result goal of getting you more business. What's up, Courtney? So within those silos, we're going to go case by case, and we're going to pick at least 5 different strategies that are going to deliver us to those ultimate goals. This, by the way, I talk a lot about systems and models. I say those words. This is a system. This thing that we're doing right now is a system. A system simply means it's a tool that you can use that's repeatable, that you can use to get to where you want to be. It's efficient. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Keller Williams already invented this for us. If you want to hear somebody else present it, you can go to either KW Connect or YouTube. There are videos on this as well. I looked at some and I thought I could do better. So here we are. I was going to share with you, but what's the first a good strategy to have in terms of growing our sphere of influence? Let's just brainstorm.
Ask for help from other co-workers.
Okay. I'm gonna go come down here and brainstorm. Networking, Max says. What does that mean, like, in your head?
Going to like different events or different group events and just meeting new people.
Going to different events and meeting new people. Awesome. Yeah. What else?
Creating relationships from different aspects of the business, like home inspectors, lenders, title companies.
Vendor partnerships is what Courtney was just sharing. Like basically kind of what we talked about in the past, creating a Rolodex of people who can help through the transaction, that's got a long lifespan because people need that long after they close. I give out carpet recommendations, countertop recommendations to people who've already closed. It's a good tool to have in your back pocket. Cool. What else?
Join non-real estate related groups, book clubs, that kind of stuff.
Love it. What were you saying, Max?
Reaching out to like people we haven't talked to in a few years.
Reaching out to old friends, we'll call it. Okay. Once we have some ideas, then I think it's going to spark some things here. So let's start plotting this out. Remember, we want our tasks to be specific and measurable. I think the first strategy is to put a number on it. What number do we want to? So let's just say I want 15 transactions. If I do my math, 15 divided by 0.06 equals 250. The math works this way. You take your end result, 15, you divide by 6%, which is the average number of contacts per single transaction. So if I have 100 contacts, I'll get 6 transactions. So 15 divided by 0.06 equals 250. So that means tangible, 250 contacts in database. That seems really doable, doesn't it? Who here is already at 250 contacts? Courtney says she's close. Guess how many deals Courtney's closed this year? 15. That's hilarious. What a coincidence. Thanks for that number, Jason. You made it come full circle. And she's got her 16th in contract, just a heads up. Does that make sense? Does the math make sense? Take whatever your end result goal is, divide it by 0.06, and you'll get your goal. Okay. That's a tangible goal, 250 in your database. Great. Now, we just mentioned a word here, database. We should probably use one of those. Who here uses a database of some sort? Probably not. Courtney said, everyone? No. Well, you all have access to a database of sorts, and that's called your cell phone, right? Because your contacts are in there. If we think about it that way, then we all have a crap ton more than 250, most of us, contacts. Okay. But what I'm referencing is what we call a CRM, something that can organize our contacts for us. Do we have access here at Keller Williams in any sort of CRM? Command. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Here's the strategy. Use command for, let's capitalize this, all contacts. So all 250 of my contacts should be in command. Why do we use command? And I don't care. End of the day, let me be very clear. I don't care what you use. I don't care if you use Boomtown. I don't care if you use an Excel spreadsheet. Whatever you need to use, the reason I say use command is because you can automate all kinds of different drip campaigns, all that stuff. So if it's automated and it's already made for me and I can customize it completely to be my own, why wouldn't I use it? And oh yeah, it's free. No additional monthly cost. Show of hands, how many of us are actually using command? It's not a problem if you're not. Okay. All of our brand new agents said that they are. Jason, are you on command? Are there any other resources y'all are using? I'm totally cool to talk about this. And what are other options out there? Amanda, you work for the biggest group here. Does Joe use command?
I was gonna say, I use command for myself, and then I also have a separate command for Jensen Associates.
Cool. So even the big dogs, the big teams are using command. End of the day, I'm not going to preach too much. I'll just say it's a great resource. If your contacts are all just in here, how organized is that? Are we really running a business? Are we just winging it? You're just winging it. Okay. If y'all need help with command, the great news is we have a resource that I'll circle back to the start of the meeting with, and that's Rachel. Rachel is an amazing resource for all things command technology. She'll teach you anything you need to know. And I'm okay at it, but my admin, Katie, is awesome at it. If you have questions, ask, please. What are some other avenues? So let's take from this. So at the end of the year, I should be able to say, did I or did I not get 250 contacts? Yes or no? That's a cut and dry answer. Hopefully you'll exceed that, because 250 actually, when you actually start putting people in, not too hard. Use command for all contacts. It's cut and dry. Did I or did I not? Are there 250 in there or not? Next piece. What if I said join 2 networking groups? That seems cut and dry, right? What if I said create A to Z Rolodex of vendor partner contacts? That'd be pretty sweet, right? Like to have a Rolodex. And what I mean by Rolodex is literally an A to Z. So we've talked about this a little bit before. What kind of vendors start with the letter A? What kind of home partners? A.
Asphalt.
Ooh, good. Asphalt. Keep it up. Keep coming.
Air conditioning.
Ooh, great one. One or two more. Architect, maybe? Okay, cool. So we've got 3 different vendor partners or categories that we can go get 1 or 2 contacts out of each. How do we do that? Honestly, just look it up on the internet, or you can ask like your Keller Williams closed group. Hey, do you have any good contacts that you'd recommend me linking up with? End of the day, it'd be great to create a partnership that is one-way mutual, meaning, so for instance, when we get to L, what would be a great vendor partner? L. Lender. What'd you say?
Lowe's.
Lowe's? Yeah, that'd be good. A vendor partner, though, the one we use on every single transaction is a lender. I'm giving you this because Courtney, currently in the office here, with rocking it with 15 transactions, she has a 1-to-1 vendor relationship with a lender who has fed her 6 transactions. The end result of most of our vendor partnerships, hopefully, is you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours relationship, and it's only one way. That's why I don't necessarily recommend getting into vendor partnerships with vendors that already have other realtors in their world. So like my inspector, hardly anybody else uses him that I know of. I refer him out all the time because he's great. But at the end of the day, I want him to send me referrals. So when we think about building a Rolodex A to Z, this can be as easy as you getting 26, and you might still do this. Anyone who's going to bold, you guys may still do this. They had us get 26 note cards. Why 26? Max said it, 26 letters in the alphabet, A through Z. Now, some of these you might have struggles with, Q's, Z's, X's, I'm not sure on those. But for the most of these, you're gonna have a note card with filled out with maybe 3 or 4 categories with 1 or 2 contacts for each. That'd be a great way to build your database. We need one more. Ask for help from coworkers, non-real estate related groups, reaching out to old friends. What if we reached out to everyone in our phone and asked for updated contact info? That is a tangible thing that you guys could do. And this is just an example. Not that any of these other brainstorming things weren't right, but we kind of repeated some. If you literally reached out to everyone in your phone book and reestablished and re-engaged them in conversation, and then asked them, hey, I'm recently became a realtor. Boom, you just had a real estate conversation. And I'm uploading my database and wanted to know if you could give me an update of where you're at now, where you're living now. Can I get an address? Cool. And then also I like to send stuff out on birthdays. Can I get your birthday? If they don't want to give you your birthday, you can stalk them on Facebook and normally find that. Why do you want their birthday?
So you can wish them happy birthday.
Yes. Is there an easier touch in the world than to wish them a happy birthday? No, that's like joyful, gleeful. It's happy for both parties. And you don't have to get nervous getting on the phone like, oh gosh, what am I going to say? It's simple. Hey, John, I just saw it was your birthday. I wanted to wish you a happy one. Hopefully I'm the first one. Maybe even set it a day ahead of time. So you're the very first one. I know somebody who does this as a shtick. It's like, hey, am I the first one to wish you happy birthday? Stand out. Is this the pumpkin crew?
Yeah, there's.
Just open the door. I've got, so one of my good buddies here is doing an event where they're going to be giving pumpkins to their clients, and they're going to use our office as a storage. So if you see little orange balls coming in, that's what's happening. Don't double work, man. Work in here. You're good. All right, let's move over here to lead generation. Let's brainstorm. What are some good avenues for lead generation? Cold call. Door knock. What did I just say that my buddy was doing? A client event. You know how much a pumpkin costs? Like if you buy them in bulk, not much at all. What else?
Facebook ads, command ads.
Facebook ads. This one's going to be crazy. What's our number one source of leads?
Zillow, Mojo.
Mojo's kind of cold calling. What about open houses? I say open houses because those are people who normally are raising their hands saying, I'm really interested in buying a house and I don't have a realtor. Nicole's not on, but she's had humongous success. I'm talking like $2 million of her volume this year has come from open houses. Why? Because she holds the open house and is herself. Cool. These are great. So let's make these specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time bound. So lead generation. I'm going to start with the most important thing. What did I say earlier? Consistency is more important than quality. Time block daily, 2 hours, lead gen. That's cut and dry. Did you or did you not? 2, 100 contacts weekly. Now from here, we can focus on one of these 3 things. I don't actually encourage you to focus on every single kind of lead generation there is out there. Chris Weatherly, who's not on right now, he said it best once. He says, I like to diversify my lead generation. So just pick 1 or 2, or in this case, 3 things that you're going to charge after head first this next year. If I'm in your guys' shoes, I say, average 3 open houses per month. Okay, that's just a ballpark. If you're really hungry, go do more. That puts us at maybe 1 or 2 or 3 weekends a month that we're working, and then we get a weekend off. Give yourself times off, please. What else? Which one of these things? Somebody, whoever speaks first gets it, but door knocking. What's something specific, actionable, and measurable we can do with door knocking?
50 doors a day.
50 doors knocked per day. Farm. Would anyone here be interested in a class solely about farming? I told you I don't love it, but I know how to do it well if you guys want to know. Okay.
First time buyer events.
I like that one. Matthew just said, and this one isn't on the list, but he said it first, so that's why we're putting it up here. First time buyer event. Okay, now that's not a SMART goal yet, right? So let's make it a SMART goal. How can we make that a SMART goal? Somebody else.
Do like 1 a quarter or something.
Love it. That's great. My last first time home builder event or first time home buyer event, Lauren, since that day, we've closed already on two of those people who came. Okay, so what is that in terms of GCI? If I'm doing my math, 9,000 plus about $15,000 I made from one event that cost me about $200. That's real life, guys. You like that? That's a return on investment. That's something to be excited about. If you have questions after this, reference the recording. This recording will be uploaded on YouTube, my YouTube page after this. This is fun. Okay, marketing. Give me some ideas. Let's brainstorm. How can we promote ourselves? How can we market ourselves? What are some ideas?
Email, smart plans, and command.
Boom, baby.
Social media posts.
There it is.
I like those Cutco knives, those closing gifts.
Closing gifts. Cutco knives. Have you guys heard of Cutco knives? They give a knife. It's a closing gift, but on the knife, it's actually got engraved your name, your whatever. You could put anything on it. I'd love to put my face on a knife. Wouldn't that be awesome? I don't know why. But anyways, that could be a good way to market, a good marketing strategy. Expensive though. One more idea.
Send out postal, like to, I know a title company where they pay for half the postage if you put your information on one side and their information on the other side.
Love it. Postcards or door hangers. Okay, cool. This is enough to work with because I'm going to start with none of these. I like to take notes and get prepared. Okay. So in order for us to get our minds right around marketing, we probably need to do some education, right? So what if we attend a class quarterly on marketing? So that could mean a multitude of different things. Maybe you attend a social media marketing class. We offer those personally, but there's every marketer on Instagram wants you to attend their class or whatever. So there's that. Because you're with Keller Williams, you have access to Family Reunion, Mega Camp, Bold. All these things are going to teach you how to market yourself. Those would be great. So, and I made it smart because it's quarterly. I can actually measure that. All right. Because we're all business owners here, what does all this cost? Some of it costs money. So we should have this budgeted into our year. So for those of us who are running a business, do we have a forecasted budget for this year upcoming? That's prompting me, honestly, to say I need to do a P&L class. Would you guys find value in a P&L class? Even if you're on a team, you need to know how to run your finances. I'm going to say yes for you guys. So we'll do a P&L class, but budget 10% of your net. Oh no, we'll go GCI of your gross commission income for marketing. Why is this? Why do we want to spend money when our objective is to make money?
Yeah, spend it to make it.
Matthew knows what's up. He said you got to spend it to make it. Be very careful. Don't mishear me, because we coach. Hi, Austin. Because we coach out of the MREA book, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, and it says to play red light and green light with your expenses. If you've not closed the deal, don't go spending money on marketing. Kathy Nelson, you just recently closed a deal. I would encourage you to start setting aside 10% of every deal that you have coming in for marketing and for the business. I feel that that's a safe number because you're not spending everything. You're only actually spending a really small chunk, but you're forecasting ahead to say, I may not be at a place yet where I want to go pay for leads or run $1 million events, but I'm going to start saving for it. Okay. So in this example, if our goal is to make $136,000, $500, does anyone know what 10% of that is?
Like 13,000.
Yeah, it's like $13,500. I realize now that we're all realtors and not math teachers. Can y'all at least calculate 3%? That's really all we need to know. Anyways, so in this situation, if we're budgeting almost $13,000 for marketing, that's going to get us a good number of eyeballs on our business. Cool. Again, this is all just an example, but let's dig into some of these. So somebody said smart plans. Love this idea. Get all database onto a 42 touch smart plan. This is why I say use command. It's free. A smart plan can be done through command in the click of a few buttons. Has anybody here dabbled with smart plans? Okay. We need to have a smart plan class too. You're just giving me great material. Thank you. The reason being smart plans are just drip campaigns, essentially. They're reminders for your clients, their marketing essentially, that is also free. So it may, a smart plan, there's already a library full of them in command, like literally tens of thousands of smart plans have been created by other Keller Williams agents. All you need to do is go in there and click and find one that you like the best. And I say 42 touch because that's the new number. The number changes every year. The new number to stay relevant or to stay Crest or Colgate in the minds of our buyers and sellers and clients. It used to be, I don't know, 19 touches. It went up to 36 touches. In this day and age of mass marketing, where our inboxes are flooded, I think you'd all agree. If you ever have opted in for communication from like, I don't know, Amazon, you get at least an email a day. And how many of us actually click those? Hardly any. So it's important to understand the numbers, the algorithms for how many contacts we need to stay relevant. Y'all heard me say Crest or Colgate. We say Crest or Colgate because we want to be the top two names that people think of when they think real estate. Somebody give me another one from the list here.
For social media, you could set up a calendar for a post.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe do 5 posts a week related to real estate.
Nah, I'm gonna go up it. We're gonna do daily posts. Why would I do daily? So we can stay relevant, guys. This year, the business that has come from social media for me has just burst. Meaning, and I can only credit it to one thing, and that's me posting daily or Lauren helping me post daily. We're providing content. It's not all perfect. It's very flawed. In fact, I film a video one time and that's pretty much all. I don't care if I mess up, and neither does anybody else. Remember, consistency over quality. But if we post daily, I promise you, after a year or so, if you're posting even mediocre stuff, people are going to remember that you're the realtor and they're going to reach out to you. But I love the fact that you said set up a calendar. Then I added system. That's another system. A calendar is just a system that we use in order to post daily. So what might that look like? Well, every Monday, Lauren helps me do a this or that. And that's just a voting thing. And every Monday we get, I would say on average per post, probably 40 people vote on those things. That's 40 interactions that I have that remind people that I'm a realtor. Just last night, I was with my kids and I did a vote thing. I love the interactive posts. I did one that said, who would win? My son was holding up a Venom doll and an Iron Man doll. And it was fun. It's different. It doesn't all have to be real estate related. Okay. Let's do one more thing here. One more. Closing gifts or postcards, door hangers. I'm just gonna be awkwardly silent.
Maybe for each client, pay close attention to their hobbies or their interests, and then get them a closing gift that you think they would like or that relates to them.
That's outstanding. Absolutely. And what does that do after the transaction is done? Does that not cement your relationship with that person because you actually got to know them? I love that idea, Lauren. And kind of like what Cutco was saying, are we giving them gifts that are easy to throw away or that are not going to stay in their houses? That's something to think about. It's a rhetorical question. So the SMART goal here would be something to the effect of every closing gift has So the example the Cutco lady mentioned was great. Get them a bottle of wine or get them a a gift card. They're gonna go use it, and then there's no reason for them to remember you. But with a Cutco knife, you're in their house, they're using you a couple times a week while they cook. Cool. It's a great idea. It's just really expensive and I don't recommend it.
Even if you like get a gift from, like, when we bought our house, we got an Ohio shaped cutting board. And every time, it doesn't have my agent's name on it, but every time I use it, I still pick up.
It's a great idea. I personally give out the state of Ohio. It's a rustic barnwood and it just says home on it. And it's an art piece. And I always hand it over and I say, guys, here's the first piece of art for your new house. Thank you so much for using me. Congratulations. People still comment every time I go to their houses or drive by or whatever. I'm able to see that on their walls. It's just a good reminder that we did that together. That's my system. I make it easy because I'm not a good gift giver apparently. But there's no right or wrong there. So guys, my encouragement to you guys is to take this piece to heart, okay? Again, there's no necessarily right or wrong way to do this as long as your strategies are specific, measurable, actionable, meaning you can take action, realistic. Let's do things we can actually do. Don't shoot for the moon if you know you're not going to get to the moon. And then time bound. It's all time bound because, and maybe some of these things, so like quarterly, well, that's time bound each quarter. If I'm looking at this quarterly, I know that I need to go attend a class if it's the last month of the quarter. Hopefully this has been beneficial. If you need any more information on this, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, look at the recording tomorrow as we upload it. Thank you guys so much. Let's see, some chat was made here. What's Skillshare.com, Amanda?
So Skillshare is where a bunch of artists have created a website. They do a bunch of classes on like anything from, you could learn calligraphy, painting, watercolor, but they also do stuff on creating a brand and marketing and how to make video for Instagram and stuff like that. They have free classes and then they also have like a $10 a month subscription or something like that.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. And feel free, guys, as you guys come across any good like marketing classes or maybe social media classes that maybe I didn't send out, send it to the group. We all have this group text thing going. I'm considering making like a closed group coaching Facebook page too, where we could post stuff like this or tools and resources like this filled out GPS. So feel free to share, guys. We don't want to sit on information. That's why Keller Williams is so great, because we share all the information that makes each and every one of us successful. There's enough business to go around. So let's go get your fair share now. Talk to y'all later. Thank you.
My phone number with you,
Yes, please. What is it?
614-592-2144. So when you send the group thing, send it to that one, because the one you're sending it to is the personal phone that I'm on now. And that number I gave you is my business.
Got you. Thank you for sharing, and I will update that accordingly. Thanks, y'all. Y'all have a great day. Sun's peeking out. Go get it.